When you think of pets in The Sims, what comes to mind? Cats, dogs, maybe even horses, right? These furry friends have been staples in our Sims lives for years. Sure, there are also pet parrots, rodents, snakes, llamas, and all the others, but by design, they don't really count as a part of your Sims family. But what if I told you there's this one forgotten pet that most Simmers don't even know ever implemented in the Sims franchise on PC? Hello guys, this is Abi aka onlyabidoang, and today I'm gonna be talking about orangutans, an actual playable animal in the spin-off Sims game in the PC called The Sims Castaway Stories. Before going further, I just want to give a short announcement that my creator code now gives a 5% discount for a limited time until January 26, 2025 as part of the EA affiliate program. Feel free to enter the promo code onlyabidoang when purchasing any Sims 4 packs and pre-made bundles excluding kits in the EA desktop app or thesims.com for this discount to be eligible. Alright, back to orangutans. Yes, they're fully playable as part of your Sims family in The Sims Castaway Stories, which is a spin-off of The Sims 2 where you play as a Sim stranded on an island with a storyline to follow. Before we continue, just a quick warning. Since the game is a bit old, some footage may appear glitchy or produce occasional flashing, so for those with photosensitivity or epilepsy, please proceed with caution throughout the video. Anyway, this game runs on the same engine as The Sims 2 for PC, where you control your Sims by clicking on objects to control their actions, not to be confused with The Sims 2 Castaway for consoles including PS2, Wii, and PSP. While both share the same theme, the console version has a completely different gameplay style. Instead of the traditional point-and-click controls, you directly move your Sims around. And unlike in Castaway Stories, where you can have an orangutan join your household, the console version only has wild chimps that you can befriend but not control. With that out of the way, now begs the question, how does an orangutan even join your Sims household in this game? Well, The Sims Castaway Stories offers two different game modes, a story mode called Shipwreck and Single, and a free play mode called One Mommy Island. In Shipwreck and Single, you follow a linear storyline set by the game. You start by choosing one of these two Sims as the main character, and the story kicks off with them getting stranded on an island after a cruise ship accident. From there, your Sim needs to find a way to survive, gather food, gain resources, figure out a way to escape the island, meet various Sims in your journey, while also uncover the island's mysterious secrets along the way. There's also plenty of dialogues, cutscenes, and many places to explore. At one point in the story, things took a turn when your campsite gets raided by a pack of orangutans in the middle of the night. Shortly after, you'll find yourself in an area called Simian City, where you'll see the same orangutan group hanging around guarding some kind of idol. If you try to steal it, this orangutan named Wayata will beat you up, so you need to befriend her and gain the pack's trust before they'll let you take the idol. Once that's done and you return to your campsite to rest, you might find Wayata wandering back to your camp the next day, and at that point, you can officially adopt her and have her join your household. From then on, she can be controlled to help your Sim gather food and resources throughout the story. Meanwhile, the free play mode lets you play this game like how you play The Sims 2 without needing to follow a set storyline, but in an island survivor way. You will play in an entirely different area called One Mommy Island that's already filled with islanders and community lots. You can create a new family or play pre-made ones already residing the island. Keep in mind that you cannot create an orangutan straight from Create a Sim here. To meet an orangutan, just go to any community lot during daytime in this island and you'll easily encounter a group of them hanging around since they're pretty common. Then, start befriending one by giving them a banana, playing with them, and once you're bonded enough, the option to adopt will appear, and if clicked, the orangutan will finally join your Sim's household. This method can also be done in the story mode if you'd like to adopt more orangutans once you've finished the story and can freely play with the main character's household. So now you've got an orangutan companion, which is pretty cool. But what's next? How do they live their daily lives and what can they actually do? Let's dive into their gameplay features and characteristics. First of all, unlike cats and dogs in The Sims 2 Pets expansion pack, orangutans are fully controllable without cheats needed. You can control them like how you'd control Sims. All orangutans will already have pre-made names and you cannot change them. These names, like Wayata, Ngiru-ngiru, Titipounamu, and many others, are based on the native Maori language and wildlife in New Zealand. All orangutans in this game has the same exact appearance, with bright orange fur, long arms, and dark skin on their face, hands, and feet. Interestingly, all the orangutans in this game are females, so they cannot breed or have baby orangutans. Orangutans are immortal. They will never age or die as they only have one life stage. Unlike regular Sims, they don't have any wants, memories, or interests. If you want them to be removed from the household, you need to move them out with at least one adult Sim since pets cannot move out solo. Orangutans walk by waddling around like so. They can also apparently run, but they'll still use the same waddle. Not sure if this is bugged or not. They can also go up and down a flight of stairs like Sims. Though unlike Sims, they are unable to swim in the ocean. Orangutans have 6 needs: hunger, fun, comfort, social, bladder, and energy. Unlike Sims, they don't have the environment and hygiene needs. Hunger can be filled up by eating fruits from these harvestable fruit trees. Fun can be filled up by playing around or with other Sims. Comfort can be filled up just by sitting on the ground or on living chairs. Social can be filled up by interacting with Sims. Bladder can be filled up by peeing inside the special patch of bamboo that you can buy from buy mode. And energy can be filled up by sleeping, which they can do so autonomously on the ground. Orangutans can actually get jobs. They can either become hunters, gatherers, or crafters, the same 3 job types available to adult Sims. However, unlike adult Sims who have 10 job levels, orangutans only have a maximum of 4 levels. When it's time to go to work, they will leave the lot for a few hours depending on their work schedule and come back home with some food and resources, which is basically the currency of this game. And just like Sims, they may also encounter chance cards at work that can either reward them or lower their skills or job performance. To get promoted, orangutans need to build up specific skills. And yes, they can learn skills too. There are 3 types of skills they can improve on: body, logic, and creativity. Each have 10 levels and they can be improved by performing various activities that I'll explain later. Now let's talk about some of orangutans' self-interactions. Orangutans can sniff the air around them. This helps increasing their logic skill. They can also groom themselves, which gives a little boost to their hunger need at first, but not if you spam it multiple times. How about their interactions with Sims? Let's see. Sims can give orangutans a treat, where they will grab a banana, call them over, and give it to them. Additionally, orangutans can also beg Sims for a treat so they can give a banana to them. The banana will automatically be eaten later when they feel a bit hungry. Sims can greet a non-orangutan, where they will wave to them and the orangutan will wave back in such an adorable way. Sims can groom orangutans too. Doing this increases their relationship with each other. Orangutans can also groom other Sims, which, besides bringing them closer, will also increase the Sims' hygiene need and increase the orangutan's logic skill. Sims can play games with orangutans. First is this stick 'em up game where Sims play pretend with finger guns, shoot it to them, and the orangutan will play that after that. The second game is Funny Faces, where both the Sim and the orangutan will look at each other and make funny faces. This increases the orangutan's creativity skill. Orangutans can playfully chase other Sims around to scare them. This increases their body skill and friendship. Once a Sim and an orangutan has bonded enough, an orangutan can initiate a kiss with the Sim, which is pretty goofy to say the least. Sims can intimidate orangutans, where they will scold them, reducing the relationship. In return, orangutans can also intimidate other Sims, either by roaring at them or by performing a chest pound. Besides reducing the relationship, this also increases the orangutan's body skill. And if both of your relationship is already not looking too good, an orangutan can attack a Sim to initiate a fight, which will look like your usual Sims fights behind this ball of smoke. This greatly increases your orangutan's body skill though. The orangutan will also always win in the end, even if you have more body skills than them. Your Sim may also be seen headlocking the orangutan a lot in the midst of the fight. Damn, talk about endangered animal abuse. Where's PETA when you need them? Though those are all the interactions between orangutans and adult Sims. For younger Sims, they have a much limited interactions. They can only play stick 'em up with child Sims, and they can't even interact with toddlers at all. Now you might be thinking, what about interactions between orangutans? Well, unfortunately, orangutans cannot even interact with each other. If you click on another orangutan as an orangutan, the only option you'll get are groom and sniff the air. And if you click on those, the orangutan will just do these actions by themselves instead. Yeah, that one's pretty weird and buggy it seems. As mentioned before, orangutans can eat bananas, papayas, and coconuts from their respective trees. For papayas and coconuts, they actually need to climb the tree first to grab and eat them. And when it comes to coconuts, the orangutans are clever enough to crack the shell open first with a piece of rock before drinking the water. You can also perform this monkey around or scan horizon interactions on papaya and coconut trees just for the fun of it. For banana trees, besides eating the bananas directly, you can command orangutans to gather the bananas. Doing this increases your household's food points and also increases the orangutan's logic skill. There are bongo drums in this game and orangutans can play with them. They can either practice or perform using the bongos. But I don't think there's any difference between these two. Playing with bongos increases their creativity skill. The music will always sound the same regardless of your creativity skill level. If there's a lit fire pit, orangutans can choose to sit near it and just chill. You can buy the same tree back in the Simian City area in buy mode. It's called Villa do Pongo, and orangutans can climb onto the tree to hang around and chill around different spots of the tree. Multiple orangutans can use this tree at once. Orangutans can sit on living chairs, increasing their comfort need. And yeah, the way they sit just gives such a powerful aura. They can also be seen sleeping while sitting on the living chair sometimes. Skunks can also appear in this game, and orangutans can try to pet them if they want to, but they will be sprayed and pass out in the end. I think that's pretty much all there is to orangutans. I do have to admit, their interactions are somewhat limited and doesn't have that much depth. They can't even interact with each other. Despite that, they do bring quite a unique charm to this game. But let's be real for a second here. With all that said, in real life, orangutans must never be kept as pets. They're an intelligent and protected primate native to the lush rainforests of Borneo and Sumatra in my home country, Indonesia, and they play a crucial role in maintaining the ecosystem. Anyway, back to the game. Besides orangutans, there are also hyenas in this game. They first appear in a brief scene if you're playing the story mode, and you need to chase them off to save the child the hyenas are chasing. But after this, they won't appear in the story anymore. However, if you're playing the free play mode or the finished story mode, you can usually find them in community lots in the middle of the night, and they will leave once the sun shines. They will appear as pets, and in order to adopt them, you need to bond with them first until the option to adopt them appears. Once they're in your household, hyenas are basically reskin dogs from the Sims 2 Pets expansion pack, so they have the exact same gameplay. You cannot control them unless you use cheats, but you can still see their needs. They bark a lot, eat food from a bowl, and chew on your objects. You can train them certain commands, praise or scold them for doing something, take them for a walk, play fetch, and they can even breed and have hyena cubs. One of the differences is that they cannot have a pet job. Because of the similarities, I won't talk much about them in this video. Orangutans also cannot interact with hyenas, unfortunately. And finally, there's also one other animal worth mentioning in this game, and that is a jaguar. Jaguars only appear in the story mode, where one of the entrances to an area is guarded by one. If you dare to go near her vicinity, she will approach your sim and immediately pounce on them, knocking them to the ground. Fortunately, she is not hungry, so she will leave you and go back to guarding the entrance. You cannot go through that area until later in the story, where you need to tame her using a certain leaf of a plant. Once you've obtained one, you can click on her to tame her. Your sim will feed her the leaf, and after that, she will stop guarding and leave the area, never to be seen again. You cannot adopt jaguars into your family. You also cannot meet one again both in the free play mode and after the story mode ends unless you use mods or hacks. Fun fact, the jaguar in the story mode is named Mata, which actually translates to eyes in Indonesian and Filipino. This is also confirmed by one of the characters in the story since she's ever watchful. So those are some of the forgotten pets in the Sims Castaway stories. What do you think about them? Have you ever played the Sims game before? Please comment down below your thoughts about it. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that you liked the video, and if you do and want more, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, feel free to use the code onlyabidoang when buying the Sims 4 packs in the EA app or thesims.com for a 5% discount up till January 26, 2025 if you want to support me and the channel. See you later!